Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
In pursuit of their sporting dreams, athletes can end up sacrificing a good education. But what if their dreams don't come true? We look at how young people can keep up with both their sports training and their schooling. The Central Sports Club for the Army of Moscow is one of Russia's most prestigious sporting schools. Discipline is strict and the training is tough. Keeping up with it is challenging, especially as sporting hopefuls are also required to keep up with their education.
Ali Sherif is one of 70 students at CSKA boarding school. Only the cream of the crop come here. Ali was invited to leave his hometown in the Russian North Caucasus and train in Moscow. The head of the boarding school explains their selection system and the role discipline plays in the school.
We install discipline here. Not as soldiers, but as people. Because discipline is the basic and fundamental element that helps students get results.
Ali trains first and last thing every day. He goes to compulsory middle school just 2 or 3 times a week.
I like CSKA a lot. I used to dream of being here when I was a kid. They've got the best coaches. I want to be an Olympic champion and make my home republic famous.
For the young wrestler, his sports career is the only thing he's interested in. His coach disagrees.
Excellent results in sports can only be achieved by people who read a lot, educated people who are highly intelligent. Since Soviet times, apart from physical development, we try to develop character. They must develop physically and spiritually. Our pupils study at compulsory middle schools. They manage to combine both.
Natalia Sakaro has trained potential gymnastic champions for over 20 years. She complains about the quality of education being damaged by commercialization. Parents pay for their kids to study, and that makes proper selection by coaches impossible.
Kids these days are not like kids were in Soviet times. Kids then were willing to train. We could afford selection. We didn't accept just anybody like we do today. Now we have to work with children we wouldn't have even considered in Soviet times.
Kristina Rostopchina is different to most. She's a young girl with talent and more than willing to become a champion.
I want to become an Olympic gymnast because it's a beautiful sport.
Kristina spends 5 afternoons a week training at CSKA. Russian law requires kids to attend middle school. CSKA has arranged a special education program with local schools so children can learn and train. Let's hear from the deputy principal.
The education programme here is like no other middle school. We shape the lessons to fit around the training schedules. The timetable is designed together with the CSKA schools, especially for sports that need 2 training sessions every day, and they study between sessions.
The school is near the CSKA training grounds in central Moscow. After the first 2 lessons, her parents take Kristina to her favourite sports training ground.
Well, that is one way to do it. But how about studying and training in the same establishment? Some universities in the US offer athletes an opportunity to get a good degree while simultaneously pursuing a professional sporting career. We look at how that works out in this report.
David Andre is a goalkeeper and second-year business student at St. Louis University. He has high expectations. He's focused on winning the US College Soccer National Championship. David left his home in France to play football and get a top-level degree.
I've been playing with, I don't know, maybe 60, 70, 80 players. Maybe I'd say 3 or 4 do both in the same time in France. It's almost impossible to play at a very high level and study in a good university. It's almost impossible.
These freshmen are playing at a high level, ranked in the top 20 and even top 10 schools in the States. Their coach says they're also excellent in the classroom. He actively seeks out scholar athletes.
If you are somebody that enjoys doing well in school, that likes to learn, that likes to get to class and find out some new things, you're probably the same kind of player that comes to training every day, that wants to overachieve and that wants to learn. And so we don't see it as being one or the other. We find that the most competitive people want to be great at everything they do.
It's hard work, both on and off the football pitch. Andre kicks off the day with an English lesson. SLU is ranked 101st out of nearly 1,400 American universities. Students' sports results raise the reputation of schools.
Successful athletic programs impact enrollment, believe it or not. In fact, impact our ability to raise funds and recruit benefactors. Even the branding of an institution is impacted by the success of its athletic program.
College athletes don't get paid, but schools do give out scholarships to recruit them. Senior Adnan Gabaljic has earned near-perfect grades in his major, civil engineering.
I know without soccer I would not be graduating from St. Louis University. I'd probably be going somewhere cheaper, a state school that's not as prestigious.
For these students, it all comes down to getting their best shot at winning, both on the field and in their careers.
If you think it would be impossible to win Olympic medals and European championships, not just once but repeatedly, and still get a good education, then think again.
After school, 10-year-old Levente Kashai of Budapest goes swimming training 2 or 3 times every week. He needs to keep a tight schedule to excel both in school and in the pool.
He's only 10, but he learns to coordinate his things well. He has to do all of his studying at school because when he's at home in the evening, he's too exhausted to learn. There's no place to wimp out.
Laszlo Cser had a slightly different childhood. The 5-time Olympic medalist and European champion swimmer spent a lot more time in the pool. In his senior classes, he trained as much as 5 hours every day.
When I was at school, I often fell asleep after an exhausting morning training session. So it was a difficult time. Despite that, I was able to manage my studies without skipping training.
Despite his hard training agenda, Laszlo still managed to get to university. It's a matter of self-discipline, according to his father.
Laszlo was never expected to be top of his class at school, but he had to find the right balance between school and swimming. I wouldn't like to come to the end of my swimming career and have no idea about the future. I might enjoy hanging around for a while, but it's important to have specific goals to aim for.
Finally, we are looking forward to hearing about your sporting and educational experiences. We plan to broadcast some of the best comments in future episodes, so get in touch on our social media pages and perhaps we will be quoting you. Goodbye.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.